Hey everybody, welcome back to my adventures in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I gotta think, something's up with these saves, because I could distinctly remember, upgrading my, attire. Maybe it was in the, oh well. So all we're gonna really be doing today is going around, looking at, some of these extra spots on the map. Question marks and whatever, try and clear those out before we get to anything. Now, this is where I don't like running around on Roach. I don't know, I just feel like this game didn't do horse riding that well, but then again, I'm not sure how many games do it that well. When I say that, I mean feeling that well. Though, truth be told, I don't really recall much of The Witcher being about Geralt riding on horseback. Or, I mean, okay, he rides on horseback, but it's not really about him having epic, chases on horse and all that. There's a deer. Yeah, yeah, little texture issue there. Well, let's see what's up over here. Yeah, I know there's something wrong with this. I know I got this one. Maybe it's one of those times where I died and didn't save over. But I figure this is going to be a cache of stuff over here.
Let's go.
It always gets to me when I'm like traveling through anything. See, I'm scared a little bit when it comes to recording this, because when I'm just running through the woods, it's like, all right, I don't want to miss. I want to cut this out. It's a good like few minutes of just walking around doing nothing. But this game has shown me there'll be those random encounters where it's just like do and ghouls or bear. And it might be interesting. Though I guess then again, if I'm editing it, it would make a lot more sense for me to Yeah, no, I remember I upgraded, so there's something up with the saves or whatever. Sorry, just absent thought. Yeah, I guess maybe I'll start doing that from now on, because there's no reason. It doesn't. I record for half an hour. Doesn't mean the video has to be half an hour. Yeah. Okay, I need to get these things. Get some of that. All right. Before we go sort any of that out, let's take a look again. See again. I'm getting the feeling it's gonna be really just like bandits and ghouls and drowners and wolves. Wolves in the daytime at least. In this area.
That's it, Roach.
If I remember correctly, it's weird because I think drowners and ghouls are only supposed to come out at night. Huh. Oh, what's this? This ghoul over here. Oh, it's a little shrine. Get off the horse because, cool as it is, or the power boost you get, not worth it. One. Come on. Yeah. Ah! Oh yeah. Who's boss? Ragdoll always makes me laugh. What is this? Who are these people? Did I do a quest without realizing it? Okay, they're praying. Maybe I got the quest somewhere along the line? Guy looks confused. Oh, that's cool. You can liberate areas. I wouldn't call this liberation so much as just getting rid of a single ghoul, which I think if you gave all of them like sharp sticks, they could have done the job, but meh. Alright, so fair enough. See, little stuff like that. Like I don't want to cut it out, but I suppose I could literally just be like, alright, keep watching, put a cut here in these points, and meh. But alright, little areas you can clear out.
Faster.
And make it safe for people to like come around. I wonder, because I know a couple times I blew up some ghoul nests, which is weird. Why would they have nests? You can swim, Roach. You can swim. I guarantee you, if I go across this water and call you, you'll magically appear. But anyway. So that's probably... So I'm wondering, like, if you destroy ghoul nests, ghoul does not appear in the area yet. Hello, guys. 1, 2. Come on. Whoa. Oh! Ooh, painful. I wouldn't really call that conjuring. It seems like casting. Conjure sounds like a bit more involved. What is that flash? I always wonder what that flash is. Maybe it's just some effect I'm not getting. Ooh, second half too. I just look like... Ah! Take that. Did I cut his arm off too? I think I did. Or just with his legs. Meh, who cares? But, like... I just love that, because you don't really... Like, if you play Skyrim and whatnot, it's like, milk drinker! And whatever. Here it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to use the language, you know, for the kids. Assuming kids watch this. Also, if kids watch this, stop. What are you doing? No. This is not a game for children. Alright? It's far too violent for the youngsters, and let's be honest, the language is a bit risque. If you're an adult, by all means, go ahead. I'll even stretch it to 16 and above. Alright, for the risque nature of it, but this is not for kids. Alright? I want that understood. So any kids watching, stop it. Alright, go play your Fortnite. I do not like Fortnite. But, you know, I'll leave that alone for now. Alright, now let's go run through the woods a little bit longer. Just running with my sword, this is funny. But yeah, I don't like running through the woods, or, like, at all. I like encountering things. I don't know, maybe walking through the woods in real life is more fun. Gotta find a way to get around here. Again, the feeling this is the big giant wall. And being that this isn't one of those proper open world games, you can't just climb it. And rip off your melon and shit down your neck. If you're playing, Really? Really? Damn, that's rude. Alright, well. Just for that little rudeness, I think we need to kill that man. No, please. They kill people for less insults back in the day. I always wonder if that was ever a real thing, like a knight or whatever, a noble would take their glove off and slap you with it, and that was a, you know, challenge for a duel. I always imagine if they did that in real life, the person they're, like, you know, having a disagreement with, if they were like a real soldier, would just get up, punch them, and go back to his drink. Okay, can we get across this? No, it doesn't look like that. Go down. Maybe we can climb up over there. That is one interesting thing I like more or less about more modern games, is that, well, in older games, that you had your path and that was it, right? In more modern games, okay, yeah, it's a slope and whatever, but if you can find the one that's just the right angle, you can go up it. I like it. Not silliness like with Skyrim, where it's Spider Horse, like here and whatnot. Yeah, see, it's a little tough, but the point, I like the aspect there where it's like, as you're going up, if it's really really steep, girl, it's like, okay, a little harder, has to struggle a bit more. But yeah, you could actually get over here. You don't have to magic a way around or find a bridge. You can actually climb up it in some way. I'm happy with that. It's explosive. Red barrels I understand in many things, but this is not one of them. Anyway, sorry, there was a bit of a blip there where I got a message on my phone, had to deal with that, and hopefully I'll be able to fix that little edit. But alright, so we opened that bridge. So it's going to be cool, like, looking at stuff like this. Little spots where you can, like, make it a little easier to traverse. It's like, oh, you got to go all the way around because now it's open. No, straight through. I'm going to like that. Yeah, definitely got to do some editing when it comes to these trees. Or at least getting through these forests. Now, what are we going to find up here? A little further out. Yeah, this is gorgeous. I mean, I've always put that graphics don't matter in the grand scheme when it comes to a game. They're just, you know, whatever. But, you know, credit to them. It looks good. You know, if it looked bad or it didn't look all realistic, I'd be like, cool, whatever. Ow! Ooh, I left myself open for that one. Ah! Come on! No, no, bad. Nope, nope. Done. Oh! Oh, this reminds me of a funny thing. See, if you ever played the original Witcher, right? Geralt does that same maneuver where he grabs the person and stabs him through the gut. But the thing in that one, he's like, it's like he's doing it slowly. I think they might have been doing that for the sake of like, so the game could be like brutal and all that, because it was a, you know, an adult game, or not an adult game, a mature game. So he would like stab it in and he would like swivel it around a little, like as like he was having trouble with it. I was like, and it's like here he's just like in and out. You know, part of me likes to put down to maybe it's Geralt remembering, like in the first one he has amnesia, so while he has the muscle memory and probably a lot of the skills to use the sword, he's probably going like along lines of like, okay, now he's like struggling to remember how to do it. Ooh, look. Why would that be in a tree stump? Just why? Who thought that would be a good idea? And here it's like Geralt's remembering a good amount of who he is and what he's done and his professionalism, and he's just like in and out. I'm done. What I do like is the fact that, as far as I can tell, none of these guys are wearing heavy armor. Ghouls, come on, boys. One, come on. Let's dance. Honestly, the way Geralt moves, like, in reality and whatnot, Geralt would probably die. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, critiques of, when it comes to, like, you know, fighting in movies and whatever, and, like, with the realism of it, and I'm like, okay, not for nothing. If you're fighting in a movie, you're doing it for flair. You're not doing it to be, like, you know, realistic. Because, I'm sorry, if you saw a realistic sword fight, they ain't, like, you know, flashy and fun to watch. It's like 3-4 maneuvers until someone's dead. Even with really skilled opponents, there'll be like 3 or 4 maneuvers till someone slips up. And even without that, they're not going to be like giant spins and overhead swings and wide arching anything.
Ought to just destroy it.
Don't have a bomb for this. Do I have a bomb for this? I should. I made him. Yes, I do. Awesome. So now, if I'm guessing correctly, there will not be ghouls in this area ever again. But back to the point. Yeah, the way Geralt's actually fighting here, I guess it makes a bit of sense when he's fighting ghoul, like the monsters, which is because if you were to compare, like in the older ones, or at least in the first one, when he's fighting monsters, he's like looks like he's legitimately spinning and dancing around, which makes sense. The monsters aren't going to be sitting there going for the weak points or anything else. They're going to try and lunge at you. Even if they do go for the weak points, you're not going to have to worry about blocking so much. They even emphasize that. Yeah, it's not about parrying and blocking. It's about dodging. So fighting monsters, like you spin around here, spin around there, forward, back, and whatever. So it works. It actually does look like a dance. Fighting people, however, I mean, again, this is not reality, but if you just look at it, I know there are drowners down here. I think I died here once. What are they screaming about? Is that because I have my sword out? Yeah, I think it's because I have my sword out. They're screaming.
Damn deer, strip the bark off the trees again.
Okay. Some of the trees are doing some stuff. Ooh. Maybe I can do something here. Those are explosive barrels. Why the barrels are colored red, I don't know. Seems, I mean, I know in-game, gameplay-wise, of course, I miss. But, you know, in-universe, why would they be red? Oh. Oh, I hit him, not them. Still funny watching you flail, though. Drowners count as fish? Like, I know the drowned dead are, like, you know, they are dead people or corpses that have risen. Drowners look like they're just aquatic creatures. Oh! There goes his head. Ha-ha. Awesome. Too far away. Of course it is. Good. So walk to it. No, walk back. Ah! Dang it. But yeah, in a real fight and whatever, Geralt will more than likely, like, die because with all those spins, he leaves his back open a lot, which is understandable considering. I mean, no matter how you try and slice it, he's going to, a couple things here and there he's going to leave open. Doing that, like, I suppose it depends on what he's being hit with. If he's wearing a gambeson or some other type of thick clothing, Because at least in the game, he has both swords on his back. But in the books and from what I've seen in the show and whatever, he only carries the one. He only typically carries one at a time. But whatever the case is there. So if he's fighting with the one, has the other one on his back, and even if he does a spin and they try and hit him, if he's wearing gambeson or any other type of like protective clothing, assuming the sword doesn't like block it in some way, it shouldn't be able to just slice through him like that. Gambeson, for any who don't know, is actually pretty effective. I mean, not so much against piercing in reality. I think it is best for like bludgeoning weapons and a bit of defense against cutting. I mean, it's just linen most of the time, so it's not going to. What's this going here? People got hung, of course. Somebody executed. That seems a bit much, but they are at war. Ugh. I mean, they're putting the warning out there, and the Nilfgaardians, they don't exactly seem unreasonable sorts at the moment. Again, these Nilfgaardians compared to the ones from the show, oh boy. And I think that, let's see. Now, I remember them saying about a post and whatever to teleport. Let's go get my stuff crafted, because I think I cleared out all the stuff over here. Yeah. Let's go let's fast travel. I always like, when it comes to fast traveling, I always like laugh sometimes, because I'm like, okay, what's the excuse they give? Like, sometimes they're travel crystals, so it's just like, okay, I travel from point to point. Fair enough. Here it's just like, just fast traveling, which the only way it works in game is that because you have to go to specific points, not just anywhere you want, it's perfectly acceptable that girl just walks there and they just cuts the time out for you. Fine.
Return customer. Well,
let's just skip all this. Skyrim is a little different.
I could afford something.
I think the way Skyrim works is that when you fast travel, I think time actually does pass by in the game. So it just literally cuts out the transit. I think. I have to double check that. Buy that wire, cured leather. I think I have something that can make cured leather, so I dismantle it. I'm gonna think about this in my head. Right now I'm just selling a couple things. Need some of my coin. But trying to look at it right now. Comes to actual gambeson and all that. Chainmail, or just mail, depending on I guess where you're from or how you want to call it. It's terrible against everything that isn't slashing. Piercing will go right through it because it's just chain riveted, rings of metal. A piercing blow will go right through either into the hole of one of the chains or between them, and no. Doesn't really do much as far as I can tell against bludgeoning either, because it's not exactly super thick. Right? So since it's not super thick, it's more than likely just going to just take the impact, right? Because you don't put on rows and rows and rows of chainmail. You put on one set of chainmail to protect yourself from being slashed open. Because slashing, though, it has to go along the rings and gambeson, though, because it's depending on thickness, of course, will take the impact of a bludgeoning blow. I mean, within reason. A club will probably be okay. Will probably not do much against it. Do I have enough for you? Wow, I'm almost broke. Other scraps. I need that. Yeah, and oh wow, I am down to 1 Orin. I'm gonna have to start selling a lot of stuff. I mean, I know there's a bunch of different types of armor. I think leather armor and gambeson, I guess they're roughly going to do the same thing, more or less. I mean, I think gambeson's a bit better because of repairability. Leather, not so much. Modern day leather is easy to come by. Back in the day, it wasn't. Plate mail's the best, no matter what. I mean, yeah, it's even though it doesn't provide the cushioning effect that gambeson does, the bludgeoning, it's still thick metal. And even if you feel the blow inside of it, the blow's not going to be hitting you. It's going to be hitting the mail. the plate mail. But no, I don't know if anyone has ever seen it. I don't know if the author of the original Witcher knew about any of this, but you can do an awful lot in plate mail. Like, you legitimately can. You can climb, you can somersault, you can roll around. Like, I mean, and when it comes to mobility, plate mail does two things. It removes silence, so like a ninja or a stealth person trying to sneak around would not be wearing plate mail because it's metal. It's going to cling around. Even if you're moving as super quiet as possible, the metal's going to be hitting itself half the time. Let's see what we can sell you. Get some extra coin going on. I do not like the look of this outfit. I just don't. I don't.
Greetings.
I see the function. I'll get back to my thing in a second. I see the functionality of it. It's got like chainmail on the outside on like the arms and the shoulder. I think the arms and the shoulders and such. So okay, if he's being slashed at, that's not gonna. It's gonna hit the chainmail and not cut through the leather. Right? I'm not entirely sure if the leather's supposed to stop though. Anyway, so I understand the functionality of it. Then like having leather, I guess it will protect him from some slashing. But you might as well just wear chainmail then. If you're, I'm just saying, most of your weapons are gonna be slashing at this point. Oh well. So yeah, like a rogue, a stealth specialist or whatever, they're not gonna typically be wearing that on a mission, right? Also, you're gonna get tired. It's heavy. So it makes perfectly feasible sense to me that a. Just give me a second here. Yeah, I think I could sell these. It's if you're going to be like, there have been points where soldiers carried their armor instead of wearing. If they had a horse or whatever, if they had a horse or could afford a mule or whatever, they just put the armor in that, and then when they got to battle, before battle, they'd suit up. If they didn't, I don't know what they did. They probably might have brought it in a cart. They might have brought it. They might have maybe carried them and a couple guys together, just put all theirs on like a big stick and whatever and carried it. You know, like share the load, that type of thing.
Take care.
I'm not positive, obviously, but I'm assuming that's how it worked. But Geralt's is superhuman, right? Even if he was only going to wear the leather armor to get around day-to-day stuff, okay, fair enough, I can understand that. Why? But when he's going up against a proper monster, I'm sorry, plate is going to protect you a lot better than leather or chainmail. Say it's going up against a werewolf or something. Okay, werewolves are big, powerful things in the Witcher universe, can rip right through most things. Alright, Geralt can either dodge, which he can still do in plate mail. Okay, he'll be a bit slower. Fine, but guess what? That slowness is counteracted by the fact that he has plate mail on, and he's still superhumanly powerful. Well, relatively superhumanly powerful. That it's not going to be a problem for him dodging, bobbing, weaving, all that stuff. But then again, I guess it is better in one sense because, okay, fantasy tropes and all that, and he's not just another dumb guy, dumb jock type with a sword. You know, Witchers don't wear armor like that. They wear leather to keep it mobile because they know against most creatures mobility is key. So I get it. Sort of. I guess it doesn't really matter. He typically looks fine. I don't know. I think sometimes I overanalyze things a bit. I am one of those guys, I like my stuff to be a bit realistic. Like, if you're given a chance to wear armor, you're going to wear armor. Just like if you're given a chance between a sword and a frying pan, you're going to pick the sword to go into battle. Right? A knife or a gun, you're going to pick the gun. The only reason you pick the knife is because you know the enemy is either immune to bullets or they are so fast that they will get close to you before the bullet has a chance to leave the chamber, so you have a better chance of stabbing them as they grab you. I mean, unless you're just one of those guys who's so well trained or prefers, old-fashioned melee stuff. Sorry, I'm just talking over this here. You don't really need to. What am I supposed to analyze about, going over this stuff? Trying to think how I would, because, all right, let's be honest here. Geralt uses swords because swords are cool. He probably wears leather armor because he looks cooler in that than he would in just plate.
So
Plate
long.
would just be so generic and like, look, another guy in plate armor. He's not a knight. Also, there's another aspect here to consider, and that's the fact that Geralt never has money. Swords are relatively cheap to come by, because I think the Witchers forge them themselves. All you need is some basic metal to make steel. I'm guessing Witchers have the ability to just do that. Yeah, we're gonna go examine a few more places here. I'm just gonna keep talking over my little limits adventures. But yeah, the reason he uses swords is swords are cool. That's it. And the reason he doesn't wear plate mail, if you want to use in-universe arguments, plate mail is expensive. No matter how you go about it, plate is that is steel to cover. I'm guessing Geralt's 6 feet tall, somewhere between like 5'10" and 6'5". I'd say Geralt is probably closer to 6'5". Right? But plate mail for someone his size would be really expensive, and he never has money. And the monsters he runs into will more or less probably wreck plate mail. I mean, you know for a fact they send, like, knights and other stuff to fight these creatures from time to time. And so Geralt, if Witchers probably feel like they're not going to make enough money to be fully stocked in plate mail. Yes, Geralt, you know.
Should draw from it.
So I guess good in-universe argument. Plate mail's too expensive for them to, calve and maintain. I mean, he has a horse, so I mean, I guess he's more well off than most Witchers.
What now?
Oh, another place to tower. Some ghouls! Come on, boys! 1. What? No. Ha! Wow! I'm sorry, Geralt is just dancing here. That's another thing. Geralt can't do his spinny dance fighting if he's using a spear. Because let's be honest, in open battle, spears are always spears are the superior battlefield weapon. Swords are mainly self-defense. That's how they were used. But Geralt wouldn't look as cool walking around with a spear and just stabbing and swinging.
Just destroy it.
Like wide swings to get monsters. Though, and honestly, if he carried a spear, like a silver-tipped spear or something, it's just like, alright, at least one enemy down at a distance, Something like that would work. I think it would work anyway. But, who am I? Oh, wait. Do I not have any more bombs? Yeah, I can't make this bomb. So I won't be able to destroy this nest. Great. I'm going to ponder this for a few seconds. But yeah, I mean, Geralt comes down to like cool factor. Two swords and leather armor just makes the appearance, because if he used 2 swords was wearing heavy armor, I think heavy armor kind of denotes a shield at least and a larger weapon. And swords are cooler than spears. Swords are just cooler than spears. Aesthetically, at least. Though Geralt carrying one isn't such a bad idea. Alright. Let's meditate here. Oh, I got an ability point. Yep. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's level up a little bit. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, because 3 points. Yeah, something definitely happened with the save because it's not showing it up with my things. So, gonna go ahead and just get this. Let me regenerate in the daytime. Some extra vitality, because that vitality is important. It's going to be interesting, because from what I can tell, I'm only going to be able to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 abilities at any one point. It's mostly going to come down, because I'm not really a sign guy. I might put in an Ard sign thing there, here and then, but let's get to see how this meditation works in this game. Ah, cool. What's this sound? Oh my god! Yep, they're here. Well, that more or less confirms what I was thinking. But I bet you if that ghoul nest was gone, they wouldn't be here. And, yeah!
Damn, you're ugly.
Alright, I think we're good. Alright, guys, I think we're about done here. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Hit the button on the top side of the screen.
Magic.
Uh,
A place
that's
of
about it for
power.
now. Bye-bye.